Good afternoon and welcome. It's Wednesday, April 5th. I had to think about that one for a minute. Welcome to April. Hopefully you enjoyed that new intro. It's a brand new one. I am not in favor of watching myself. However, great job to the government channel. Well done. It's beautiful outside. If you're watching me right now, I don't know why. You should be outside enjoying it. The temperature is in the 70s, 74 degrees, give or take. The low is going to be 51. Rolling into tomorrow, though, there's going to be some showers coming in. 52 is the high. Dropping down to the 30s. We're going to see some early AM snow showers come Friday. But, you know, we've kind of been figuring this was going to happen no matter what with our roller coaster weather-wise year that we've had so far. And then rolling into Saturday, it's going to be sunny. Looks like it's going to be rather pleasant. 59 degrees with a low of 37, and then mostly sunny on Sunday with a high of 72. So again, you need to be outside for anyone who's viewing this right now. But regardless, a number of things going on, a lot of things going on in the city over the next few days and weeks. This weekend's going to be a busy one. But before I roll into some of the happenings around the city, let me start with a couple things coming out of Engineering and Public Works. One project that just started on Monday of this week, the 3rd, which is the West Union Street Improvement Project. This is Project 305. This is the remake or the makeover of the streetscape for West Union in between Court Street and Congress. D.V. Weber is the contractor in this particular project. And I want to reiterate it again, I know I've mentioned this before, but with this particular project, there will still be pedestrian travel down the sidewalks. The work is going to be about the halfway point of the sidewalk up to the curb and into the street. And even with the parking spaces, the way this is going to work is that individuals will be able to park at least 50% of the parking spaces per side will remain open as parking. We're looking at the south side being completed by May 1st, and then the north side of West Union will be into mid-June. That project will be a little bit more detailed in terms of what's happening down there. And again, the city apologizes for any inconvenience, but we're working really hard with D.V. Weber to make sure that that stays open as best as possible throughout that corridor. The Columbus Road Bike Path Spur. This is another project which had been completed, but due to the high water event that we had in mid-May, early March, the approach to the Bike Path Spur Bridge was impacted to where there was some erosion and it affected the asphalt. So that's a project that's going to be moving forward. Thompson Excavation is going to has begun repairing the damaged section of the Columbus Bike Path Spur. And we're hoping to have it completed by mid-April. And basically, as was mentioned in council the other night, that this is going to be an approach armoring project where we're going to put a 2-foot concrete curtain on the river side, and then we're going to be putting something called Fleximat, which is a concrete yet flexible material. It almost looks like riprap, but it allows vegetation to grow up through it. So when it comes back, it'll have a more natural look to it. This will be a good project. But again, we're hoping to have that done by mid-April, or at least to have the construction completed down there by mid-April. Let's see. On a lighter note, throughout the city, we have the Athens Sandlot Parade. That's going to be Saturday, April 8th at 10 a.m. The parade will line up at Morris Avenue and Wallace Avenue. Beginning at 8:30 is when everything's being marshaled. The parade route will be Morrison to East State Street, to Carpenter Street, to Court Street, to Union, where the parade will disband and the participants will travel to the East State Street Park and possibly playing some baseball this weekend, so they'll roll into their baseball season. I'm being given the big head nod that, yep, that's what they're doing. So good. Athens baseball is finally upon us. Kids Fest is happening this weekend as well. You'll see me down there with my daughters for a short period of time because I've got something that's needs a little bit more of my attention. I'll get to that in a minute, primarily on Palmer Street. But Kids Fest is from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Ohio University's Walter Fieldhouse. I think there'll be a large number of different city presences down there. I think the police department will be there with police cruisers. I know that EMS typically goes down with an ambulance. There'll be, I'm sure, fire trucks from the Athens Fire Department there. But there'll be all kinds of stuff going on, to include a musician. Rusty Rittenhouse, the amazing Rusty Rittenhouse, will be performing magic, and there'll be all kinds of fun things. So take your kids down there. They'll have a good time. I've taken my daughters many times to that event, and always to their delight, if nothing else, to get a snow cone or something. The Athens Marathon, that's happening Sunday, April 9th. The marathon begins on Union Street and College Street at 8 a.m. The runners will begin on Union Street, proceeding to Smith Street, to Bayard Street, to Schaefer Street, to West State Street, then to the bike path, and the marathon will then stay on the bike path until the runners complete the race at Pruitt Field on Schaefer Street. Runners will cross over Schaefer and access to Pruitt. So likely a large contingency of runners cruising around Sunday morning. Another thing that's taking place Sunday is something that I really encourage people to come out for and help out with, which is Athens Beautification Day. It takes place Sunday, April 9th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Parking will be removed from the west side of Court Street between Mulberry and Union Street, as well as the south side of Union Street between Court and University Terrace. A number of beautification activities will be occurring around the community by Ohio University students and community volunteers. Again, my family and I will be out probably working one of the city parks, likely Southside Park, but who knows? We'll be out and about, and I encourage, again, everyone to come out and enjoy an otherwise sunny day and sprucing up the city. Speaking of sprucing up, the City of Athens is having its annual Spring Cleanup Week. This is April 24th through the 28th. Residents can put out unlimited bags of refuge, curbside, to be picked up at no additional cost. This is, again, an annual event. This is a good thing, and we encourage people to do this, take part in this. Large items such as mattresses or furniture placed at the curbside will be picked up as well. But a special haul charge, just keep in mind, a special haul charge will be placed on their utility bill for the larger items. Again, mattresses, furniture, large items. You will be charged extra for that. There will be dumpsters available at the Athens City Service Garage. This is at 387 West State Street for residents to dispose of larger items. Again, free of charge. Proof of residency in the city is required to use this service. So your driver's license, copy of utility bill, etc., any of those things will work for you to use those dumpsters. They're available from 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Each day during Spring Cleanup Week. The city will not be hosting a household hazardous waste, will not take household hazardous waste items at the service garage. These would include flammables, corrosives, reactive material. Why you'd have reactive material in your home is beyond me, but you can't bring it here. Paints, explosives, prescription medicines, syringes, propane cylinders, or anything of that nature. The city will be hosting a household hazardous waste day, and that will be Saturday, May 13th. So, a month plus down the road, we will have more notification on collecting that type of hazardous waste, but not during Spring Cleanup Week. I received this from AEP Weather Alert. I get these often. Just an alert that there's going to be multiple weather threats through this evening through Friday. I don't know if Ryan, if you can get me a close-up of this at all or not, if you can zoom in on it, that would be great. But this is from AEP. This is the affected area that they were referring to, multiple storms rolling in. Again, this is from, if you look at the map, it's going to be Kentucky, but it's also going to be southeastern Ohio, and might be affecting us as well. If you look at this, we're kind of up on the fringe, but we could be affected. So just keep that in mind, regardless of all the great weather that I just described to you at the beginning of my role until now. Let's see, community center sidewalks. There's work being done by Ohio Department of Transportation to design, these are design improvements to the US 33 ramp in East State Street area of the city. It's going to include adding turn lanes. There's turn lanes at the US 33 and East State Street at the southbound entrance of the ramp and the northbound exit ramp. So more to come on that, but the sidewalk work looks like they're going to start scoping out a lot of that project, and more to come on that particular process in the near future. Let's see. Number of things that are going on in terms of boards and commissions around the city. Athens Sustainability Commission is meeting April 4th. This is 5:30 to 7 p.m. in the mayor's conference room, so the front conference room of the city building. Athens City Planning Commission is meeting April 6th, so tomorrow afternoon, 12 o'clock, here in council chambers, 12 to 1:30. Arts West is presenting the 2017 Athens Jazz Festival. This is going to be Friday, April 7th. The Jazz Fest kicks off at Arts West, 7:30, as I said, or maybe I didn't say that, 7:30 p.m. on Friday with, I apologize, I'm sure, destroy this individual's name, Naji Mordhayas. The Ohio University Jazz faculty and other guests will be playing as well, along with a jazz ensemble too. Admission is by donation. So come out for that. I mentioned the Beautification Day. Again, for the Jazz Fest, it'll be 7:30 to 10 p.m. at Arts West, 123 West State Street. Let's see, Athens City Historic Preservation Commission is meeting on the 10th, April 10th, 5:30 to 7:30, again in the front conference room or the mayor's conference room. Bouncing around just a little bit, but that's okay. It's my press conference. There's an art opening. Adrian Blake's Freedom in Creativity. Again, this is at Arts West. This is going to be tomorrow, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. for the Freedom and Creativity art opening. Exhibits will be on display. This is free and open to the public during regular business hours. So come check out that. Herbs for Allergies season. This is Saturday, April 8th. I believe this is at Arts West. Yes, it is. From 2 to 7 p.m. on the 8th. This is, again, looking at different herbs for allergies. Sick of sneezing, tired of itchy eyes and a runny nose. Constant sinus infections. Herbs can be extremely effective with allergy relief. Come and learn how to prevent and deal with seasonal allergies and with herbal medicine. So come check that out. I might even be checking that out with my hay fever. That is pretty much it for announcements around the city. I do want to alert everyone, a couple last items that I do have, is the City of Athens is now on Instagram. That's only taken us a little while, right? But we're forever chasing down new technologies and trying to implement them as ways to communicate and reach out to the citizens throughout the city of Athens. I know that a lot of the students at Ohio University live, eat, and breathe by Instagram or Snapchat or whatever, and that's great. But now we're starting to dive into that realm as well, just to make ourselves more effective when it comes to communicating on all fronts. Two last items that I want to mention. I mentioned that this is the mayor's pledge for Water Conservation Month, the month of April. So I want to remind people to please go to my Water Pledge. I had to think about it for a minute. mywaterpledge.com. mywaterpledge.com. Please go to mywaterpledge.com. It's a quick and easy survey or pledge to take, to where you will pledge to, again, take shorter showers, turn off the water in between the brushing of your teeth, put toothpaste on your toothbrush, run it under water, turn the water off, brush your teeth, and then turn it back on again. If you shave like I do, or whatever body part that you shave, you don't need to leave water running. Fill your sink with just enough water to rinse off your razor or whatever, for those of you who still shave with a razor. And rinse it off in your sink, as opposed to letting the water run to shave your face, shave your legs, shave whatever you shave, like I said. So, take advantage of this. There's some interesting prizes that the city could be in receivership of if we do a great job of people just going out, take the pledge. It's easy to do. mywaterpledge.com. Do it now. Do it multiple times. It's not like voting. Pledge often. And finally, JPAC, the Joint Police Advisory Council. We are in need of individuals who want to become part of the mayor's or the Joint Police Advisory Council. The Joint Police Advisory Council advises myself as well as the president of Ohio University when it comes to safety issues, or possibly even legislative reform when it comes to various issues throughout the city. And so we're looking for individuals. One, I'm looking for an at-large resident in the city of Athens, so it can be a citizen who represents any ward of the 4 wards, doesn't matter which, but an at-large resident, as well as a resident or an individual who works in the real estate realm. We actually have that as a designee within JPAC, so we're hoping that we can get somebody. So if anyone is interested, please contact the mayor's office. You can either reach out to me with my email address, which is spatterson@ci.athens.oh.us, or you can call my office, which is Athens area code 740-592-3338, and let me know that you would like to serve on the Joint Police Advisory Council if you are interested. I have a member from the press here today. I'm assuming from the Post, or not, maybe WOUB? Very good. If you would just state your name and we now know that you're WOUB, and fire away.
All right, my name is Alexander Moore. I'm just here to ask you about the new program that was brought about by the Disabilities Commission that would award businesses that go out of their way to help accommodate people with mental and physical disabilities. So I was just kind of wondering, if you could tell me a little bit more about that program.
Sure. It's in its early stages yet. It was something that I had worked on with the Commission on Disabilities when I was the chair on the Commission on Disabilities. One of the things that the Commission was kicking around is there a way that we could go out and kind of do an audit of accessibility and inclusion within different businesses throughout the uptown area, and really in time throughout the entire city. And if we identify businesses using basically a trained assessment, in other words, having a trainer come in to train the Commission on Disabilities how to do a proper assessment of accessibility and inclusion for businesses. And then what will happen is then those businesses that are being identified as going above and beyond in terms of making themselves inclusive and accessible in the city of Athens, then they would earn, I believe, a sticker that they can put in their storefront window that indicates that they are, someone who's being recognized, a business that's being recognized as being going above and beyond for inclusion and accessibility. It's kind of, the idea kind of came about when we knew that there were 30-mile meal stickers that were put in restaurant or store windows to be recognized that they espouse the practice of trying to bring in produce or other goods from within the 30-mile meal program that we have here in the city of Athens. And so the commission started thinking, we should explore doing this when it comes to accessibility and inclusion. I don't know exactly when that's going to formally roll out and that the assessments are going to take place, but I do know that some assessments have taken place, already throughout the city, and in particular in the uptown corridor.
All right. So you don't have any businesses that are already like ready to go? They don't have a sticker yet?
I don't have an answer for you. There may be some stores that have already been identified or businesses that have been identified as being accessible or inclusive. I do want to share this, and this is good for everyone to know, that as this program rolls out, some people might be asking themselves or thinking, well, there's some buildings in the uptown area where it would be impossible for someone who lives with a disability, who might be have to use, mobility assistive technologies to be able to get around. However, that doesn't keep someone from being accessible. There's other things that someone can do, i.e. you can put a menu with a phone number in your storefront or whatever, and that business in turn can make it to where with a phone call or a text or something like that, that they can have someone from inside their business bring the goods out to that individual at the sidewalk, as opposed to trying to figure out how are we going to solve the problem that there's 6 steps to get up into my business and there's no other way to do it, and a ramp isn't going to work because my storefront isn't long enough to accommodate a 1-inch rise per 12 foot, which is typically the ramp slope that someone would have to have. You'd have to have sometimes a ramp that's 40, 60 feet long in order to accommodate, and so that wouldn't work. So again, you can still be accessible by by making yourself accommodating to where you can bring goods to somebody who might meet you in front of their storefront. So, and those individuals would likely qualify for recognition that they are going above and beyond to make themselves accessible and inclusive.
All right. And, is this just for accessibility, or does it also offer them like an opportunity to get a job within that?
It's part of it. It is part of it. That would qualify for someone if identified that they go above and beyond in terms of hiring individuals with disabilities of any type. That is something that is certainly looked at within the survey, as I understand it.
All right. That's all I have for you.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And thank you to all who are watching today. Again, there's a lot going on this weekend, a lot of things I would encourage everyone to get involved in. One last note before I close off, and that is that Palmer Fest is this weekend, a rather large event that takes place down on Palmer in between Mill and Stimson Avenue. So I would certainly encourage people to minimize traffic flow through that area. There are alternative ways to get around. I just would steer you clear. There's going to be a large presence of city employees down there as well. I will be down there walking back and forth throughout the time that Palmer Fest is taking place. Again, that is after going to Kid Fest. But I will be up there, but I encourage people, if you don't need to be driving down Palmer Street, don't do it. Again, there will be a rather large gathering that takes place down there. That all said, have a great and beautiful weekend, and thank you for tuning in, and hopefully you'll tune in again next Wednesday for the next installment of the Mayor's Press Conference. Have a great week.